Hey everybody, it's Joy Packard. How are you doing? It has been some time. I just wanted to get on here. Good afternoon, good Monday afternoon. It is super hot here in San Antonio. What is your weather looking like wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from? I always like to know, who's cooler and who's in the 70s and who's in the million degrees like we are, 102. It's pretty hot. Anyway, I just wanted to get on and say a quick hi. I know over the past few videos that I've been on, I've been talking a lot about decluttering, about reorganizing, about just doing stuff, and it's feeling amazing. I've taken all my Gmail accounts, I've taken all my different my different business ideas, and I'm just kind of grouping them together, and I'm really trying to focus on, the things that I really enjoy. Because I've just gotten kind of to the point where there are amazing things that I do, but I'm just kind of like, I just don't like doing that anymore. And last week, there was one in particular, and I couldn't believe it, but I had a discussion with my husband. I'm like, this is a really good thing to do, it can really do well, but I just don't really enjoy it. And so I canceled it, I nixed it off my list, and you know what? It felt amazing. And so, maybe there's some things that you are doing in your life and, you're writing it down, you're doing it, and you don't really have to do it, but you're doing it. Hi, Gab. And you're just kind of like going through the motions because either number one, you are feeling the expectations of others that you have to do this, or number two, you feel like you have to just because you do, or it's just you may be in a situation where you do have to do it. Hey Joan, how you doing? It's good to see you as well. And so I have really been honing in on, I know that with this, pandemic, all this stuff that we are really able to do a lot of things online and from home, and what a blessing that is to be able to work from home. And, I'm super grateful for that. And at the same time, I've been learning a lot of things about myself and a lot of things about, the expectations that we're talking about. And so it's feeling amazing. I have been just like I say, putting it together. I do this probably once every quarter, or sometimes more or less often than that. But I have this, graph, and I have in this one corner, I have, here are the things that I have. These are the courses I have. These are the business opportunities that I have. And then I have, these are the things that I am working on. And then I have, down here, these are the things that, I might get to down the road or something like that. And I have been really sitting down and saying, I only have literally about 15 waking hours, Hi, Jessica, how are you doing? It's good to see you on here. I only have 15 or so waking hours. And I asked myself, what do I want to do with that time? Because guess what? In about 11 months from now, I am going to be an empty nester. Can you believe that? A baby of 8, my baby of 8 kids, is graduating. And so I'm kind of just in this weird stage right now where I'm like, I've had so many conversations like with some of my kids and with people that I run into, and they're all like, Mom, you really need to start deciding like how you want to spend your time. Like pretty soon, it's like, hi Elizabeth, hi Liz, how you doing? How do you want to spend your time? Because pretty soon, Mom, you're gonna like not have to do, certain things. Maybe you don't need to go around the world and go speak and stuff. There's all these things that are going through my head. And when I started breaking up my hours, it was like I was thinking to myself, I literally wake up, let's just say that I wake up at 7 and then I go to bed like at 11. So, that is about 16 hours of time. So if you break it down like that and you ask yourself, how do I want to spend my time? Because we know we have to eat, and we know we exercise, or we should, and we read, and we study the Bible or whatever you study and things like that. And so there's all of these different things that are the essential things that we have to put in that time, in that 16-hour period of time. But the other hours, let's just say half of them, 8 hours a day, how do I want to spend my time, right? And so, in that, I'm finding that I want to do music and I want to do service and I want to, I was looking into, Operation Underground lately, with the sex trafficking project that's going on. I've been really getting into that and wanting to help with that. And so, how do we want to spend our time? And that's what we have to do to break it up. And so maybe as an online entrepreneur, which many of you who follow me you are going through, what's called information overload, because I know a lot of you have private messaged me and said the same thing. And believe me, I go through it every year, at least 4 or 5 times a year, because there's so many good opportunities out there and they're thrown our way. We're on a list and, we're sitting here and we're focused on something. And then, what came back to me? I read this book a few years ago and I can't remember who wrote it, but it's called The One Thing. And The One Thing is amazing because we may have that list, we may have that quadrants of here's what I want to do, here's what I want to be doing, but there's also a way to put them over here and get to them and focus on the one thing. I'm talking to myself because I like I say, I went back and found that book and it really inspired me again to realize that if we are focusing on so many things, and I always use this example as a pie, like a circle, and you can remember as a pie, and each piece of the pie, if we add a business in there, it takes a piece of that, a pie. I wish I had my little iPad to draw on. And you have I'm doing Amazon, here's this, I'm doing retreats, I'm doing this, I'm doing, Kindle, I'm doing this. And so like, as we have this pie and we are filling that, soon it is full, right? And then pretty soon it's like, if we try and interject even more information into that pie, it's like overwhelm, right? And to a point where we just like want to explode. And then we don't want to do anything. It's like, all right, I had this little circle and I filled it with all of these different things, but then like now I'm filling it with even more. Why? Because I feel like, if we're focusing on that one thing and we perfect that and get that on autopilot, then we can do the other things that we want to do. And that's kind of like my goal. Like, I really want to, focus on my retreats, but I still have my Amazon business that's going on and my e-commerce and things like that. And so I'm trying to get that to where, it's on autopilot to where I can, get that done and then I can focus on this, right? And so I know that it's tempting, especially as an entrepreneur, and we're on everybody's list and we get all these different things, and we have to tell ourselves, it comes to a point where we have to say, I can't do that right now. As good as it is, as an amazing opportunity it is, and as a good price it is, and whoever's putting it together are such amazing mentors, I'm focusing on the one thing, right? And we have to make a promise to ourselves that I'm going to focus on this one thing until I just perfect it, because soon it's like I'm focusing on that one piece of the pie and then I can get really good at it. And then, it's almost kind of like I feel happier when I wake up because I'm not thinking about the 10 different things I have to do, which is how I did live my life over the last so many years. People who know me know that. It's like I want to do everything. I want to do mobile apps. I want to do, help local businesses. I want to do this and this and this. And it's just hard to do it that way. I used to think, being a mom of 8, I was always multitasking, raising my kids, because, time was such of an essence for me. It was so important to me to not waste time. So if I was watching a movie, I was folding clothes. If I was listening to, if I was getting ready for the day, I was listening to a podcast or whatever, listening to a course. And so, Danielle, yes, I do that. Let's see, you love doing your monthly. Oh, okay, you do retreats too. That's awesome. Yes, we all have our passions, and so good to recharge, relax. That's a great name for your retreats. And so that's the other important thing too that we can discuss, and the fact that we can go, but we really do have to take some downtime for ourselves to recharge, to just put our businesses aside, to put things, to the side so that we can focus. And so that is what I've been doing. And I've been actually also decluttering my house, because I don't know, there's this thing where you pay like a flat fee, like let's just say it's $2,500 a month, and you can travel and stay in these amazing resorts and homes for that flat rate. You can say, I'll be in Hawaii for 5 days and pick up, and you can just pick up and then I'll be in California or whatever. It's just so interesting to me. And so I'm thinking like, I'm shedding, I'm getting rid of things like that I really don't need and I think that I need. And I've been doing this over the last 2 years, and it's amazing how it makes you feel, because the less things you have, like in your home, like I don't know about you, but I go room by room and I think of like my office that I'm in right now. And I go through every single corner, every single paper, and I just go through and, I throw away or give away the things that I'm not using. And then I, go through onto the next room and so on. And so that is what I've been doing with my businesses, with my life, and it's been feeling amazing. And I, last week I spent like a whole afternoon with one of my grandbabies because it was their birthday, and it's a tradition to spend time with them. I spent another day with my oldest daughter, and I mean, I'm like, this is the kind of stuff, that like I love. And I don't have to do 20 businesses. I really did have not maybe 20, but several. And I had to, cut back, as like I say, even though as good as some of them are, I have to decide where I want to spend my time. Because remember, if you go back to the beginning of the video, we're talking about how many hours in the day do we actually have waking hours, and how do we want to spend that time? I really should have recorded this for my podcast, because by the way, on my podcast, I'm wanting to get back to it and do it. I had to get away from it for a little while because I was a caretaker for my mother and for one of my grandsons, but it's a way for me to get my message out. And I really should just put the recorder right here as I'm doing a Facebook Live and then just upload it. For those who don't know, we do have a podcast. It's called Joy Reveals. It's on iTunes, and it's also in the Stitcher app if you have an Android phone. So anyway, I'm so thankful that I'm able to do all this kind of stuff, and it's feeling better. Wanted to share it with you because maybe some of you are going through that as well, where you feel overwhelmed, or you feel a little bit cluttered, or you feel kind of like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because there's so many things. And, even like with this pandemic and everything, with us staying home, it's like, it's given us opportunity to, really sit down and really figure out, all the different things of where we want to spend our time, because like, I don't know, you might have longer hours. Mine was 8 hours of actual working time. And like, how do we want to spend our time? And it's really hard whenever, like I say, when we have the clutter. We moved from Houston to an apartment to this house, and there was, in between all those moves, there was so much clutter that has been given away to people who could use it, and just I don't need it anymore. And so less is more. I'm starting to really, really understand that much, much more as I'm, moving into this different phase of my life of getting excited about being an empty nester and trying to figure out exactly where I want to spend my time. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well, and I hope, somebody asked me the other day, do you have a planner that you created yet? And I really need to, because I keep trying to get the new planner for, the new year, and it's like none of them are exactly what I want. It's like I like some of them from here and some from there. So one of these days, after I get all this clutter out and I'm able to focus and get some of these things on autopilot, I really should get on, KDP and create a journal, a planner of what's in my head, put it out there. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a good Monday. I hope that, you are staying cool. If you are in Texas, anywhere, it's so hot everywhere, but grateful for the sun. Anyway, take care. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you. Hope it's helped you in some way, and I will talk to you guys very soon.